So this is part 2 of the video because I accidentally turned it off. This is a tour of Fursdon House Studios, which is just as well because the other one's going to be too long anyway for one loading. So this is a shirt that I repurposed. I purchased a thrift shop man shirt. I wanted something that was large. I'm not exactly tiny. I wanted something large and I wanted it to be nice and long. And I just took it and I've added lace sleeves, definitely not a man's shirt anymore, and the collar, and I just had fun with it. It was just a lot of fun. See all the detail. It took me forever and a day, but it was fun. And the back, sometimes I'll hang it up and put it in front of the window. If the sun's coming in too bright, I just hang it right up there. And now you can see the back of it and all those tiny little stitches of beads. Yep, those are beads in there. Told you I was crazy. But it makes a great little curtain. Here you can see some storage boxes that my grandfather made. He was always making my grandmother's stuff, and then he made his daughter's things, and then made me stuff, and it's nice to be able to look at them. They're nice little happy stories whenever I look at them. Again, I like to use things that are special. So this piece is from a dear family friend, Jenny Lavender. Such a lovely family friend. I first met her when I met my husband, or within a week or two, because she was their family friend, and she adopted me, and so I love to use that just to put things in and sort things in. Things that I pick up from thrift shops. That's a thing, I rarely pay full price for anything if I can help it. I go to the dollar store, I go to thrift shops, yard sales, antique shops, anywhere where I think I might find something. And so this is a culmination of years and years of crafting. This is not just suddenly something I created in the last year or two. I've been doing I used to do needlework, all kinds of embroidery, cut embroidery, and things like that, and ribbon embroidery, and then with the tea cozies, that was another venture that it's still working, still going on. But over the years, I've managed to collect a lot of things, and I've been given a great amount of things. People, friends, family, they know things that I like, or Jan, can you use this? Yes, I can use that. So that's what you're seeing here, is a culmination of everything over the years. But the dollar store is a great place to go. Get lids and things like, or not lids, but the jars and little storage things. And again, some special ones. This belonged to my grandmother. It was a sugar bowl she used it for. And then there's another one that was hers. And, oh, here's a neat one. This is just a spice thing that was on sale at Walmart. And it holds buttons, and it's nice because it moves. And again, it's storage that takes up little space. Over here you see a Lazy Susan. That belonged to my grandmother. So you can just see, different ways of storing things where you can get to things easily and see them, but they take up as less space as possible. And another thing for storage I love to use are tiered, I don't know, what would you call them? Tiered baskets, tiered trays, anything that has tiers to it, because the tiers go up instead of out, and so they take up less space, and I'm always using those. Here's some beads from my embroidery days, and I'm going to use those again now. I've had them for years and years, and now I get to use them again for the journals. And there's some spools of silks when I used to do silk ribbon embroidery, and some old spools that I've inherited. And running down here, you're going to see some more more tiered containers. This is something that I've been working on. I press flowers in my presses, but there are some flowers that do not press well, and an orchid is one of them. They almost disappear. But I've learned that if you just put them down in these little CD sleeves, and I try always to wait till they fall off the plant, because my husband is the one who loves orchids, not me. But when they fall off, they're fair game. So I quickly put them in this, and I just basically let them air dry, and then they do really well. I've got an experiment going on with that rose, but we'll see how it turns out. And what is this? This is Amanda Villa. That it doesn't do well in a book being pressed. So I'm seeing how that turns out. Up here, whoops, I'm going to end up backing into something and killing myself, but buttons. Oh goodness, last year I went to this, it's called Packard's Antique Mall, and I was looking for buttons, you know, just old buttons, and I was almost through the entire place, and it was huge. I got to the last aisle, and there was this massive glass jar, and all these buttons were in it, and it was like $20 for the whole thing. And considering you pay, you know, $5 or $6 for 3 or 4 buttons now, and some are even, you know, 1 or 2 buttons, I was just thinking, oh my gosh, look what I found. I was so tickled. And so there that is. Mom was with me. She thought I'd lost my mind, but I love the old buttons. They have so much more character in it. And again, I'm using those with the journals. And you can see it's a cozy. That was one of the first ones I did. It's sort of a model. But here you see a lot of Christmas things. I have great plans for a lot of that stuff. Some of it I've already worked on and created, but it's just fun to, again, keeping your storage clear. And there's a neat storage thing for those of you who use glitter. I don't like commercial containers if I can help it. I mean, some you can't get away with, but these make great containers for glitter. And it's just those old, fancy salt and pepper shakers. I even have some plain glass ones, if I can remember to show you, where I store other stuff. Again, the container is clear, and it's a great way to store small things. And you pick them up for like 50 cents. Sometimes they even give them to you. They want to get rid of them, so that's what that is. Let's see. Oh, up here, Randy, there's something purple for you if you're watching this. It's a dress that my granddaughter wore when she was about 5, maybe 6, somewhere in there. And she called it her fairy dress. And it's a deep dark purple velvet on the top, and then a purple silky skirt with the flower streamers running down. She loved it, and I loved it. I thought it was wonderful, and so I thought, I'm going to keep that, and that's why it's there. And then over here's another one that my mother-in-law gave to me when the girls were little. It's Edwardian, about 1910, 1912. Beautiful work. And I thought, wow, I'd like to see it more rather than keep it in a drawer, so I just put it on a little dress stand, and I have it as sort of inspiration. And that gnarly wood up there, that branch, that comes from a plant that's called a Harry Lauder's walking stick. And some people I've heard call it the monkey puzzle tree. It's a wild bush. We now have several of them. My husband loves them. I think they're neat too. They're full and leafy in the summertime, so looking at them outside right now you wouldn't recognize it. But when the leaves all fall off, all of the branches are gnarled and twisted, and it's just a fabulous little sculpture. So that's what that is. And, oh, okay, let's go on over here. You see all these shelves down here, wire shelves. My husband put all that in. And again, the idea is I can see pretty much at a glance what I'm looking at, what type of fabric, you know, for my creams and laces and things over here. It's easy to see, and that's what's really neat. And I've recently redone it so that on this side, I have paper and things that I'm using with my journals. And you can see, oh goodness, I found some fabulous laces at the same time I found the buttons. And they were almost giving them away. I was like, oh my gosh, I was just so blessed to have found all that. And it was just next to nothing. And there's some more there, various bits and pieces that I've found over the years. And again, a lot of people have given me a lot of things. And back to storage ideas. These pans belong to my grandmother. Very plain, very simple. Gran was happy when she was feeding people. And I was happy to eat. I love food, unfortunately. But it's just a sweet reminder of her. And they make perfect little storage bins. I can just reach in and grab them. And there you can see a tray that my grandfather made. He hand carved the areas around the top. It was just we, my aunts, my mom and I, we all have these trays. I have several of them, and I love them. And let's see, there's my music. And here is a neat storage idea. Let me move the chair out of the way. These are the ones, you get them, Walmart has them. You can find them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Walmart's probably the cheapest, and it's a series of 3. You can see how they're separated. And I've added to them over the years as my as my interests have increased. And you can see how I label them. Just, you know, handwritten, at a glance, shows me what's what. And then those that I'm working on the most, I'll keep, you know, closer to me. And the nice thing is you can pull them out, rearrange them, put one over here, one over here. And it really is nice to be able to do that, because, like I said, when I'm working on cozies, it's one thing. And if I'm consistently working on journals, which I have been now for about a year, that it's just nice to be able to move stuff around. And over there, another tray, or not a tray, a tiered. This came from a trip that my best friend and I made to Washington, D.C. And it holds all snippets, larger little snippets. I've not made a snippet roll yet, but I've done book covers with snippets, and I'm having more fun with them. If you don't know what a snippet is, look that up, and you'll see, especially a snippet roll. As I said, those hold the larger pieces. And over here you can see some more tiered things, and this holds tinier pieces, snippets. And these are all the laces, cream color. I try and keep them, if I can, in sort of color-coded areas. So these are the creams and what have you. And over there is going to thrift shops. You know, you can find jeans and stuff and shirts and what have you that have embroidered pieces on them, and you know, they might be full of holes and everything, and it's a great way of repurposing it, and that's what I do with those. That's just another one. Here, now these are diapers, cloth diapers. No, I did not use cloth diapers. As poor as we were when we first got married, I was determined that one thing I would do would be to use disposable diapers, but I'm not even sure where I got these. I've had them for years. They make fantastic, not cleaning cloths, but I keep them around whenever I'm working and I've got glue and everything. I keep one in my lap so I can just reach for it instead of wiping my hands on my clothes, which of course I've done in the past. And I just, you know, I throw them in the wash, and then they've got stains on them and all kinds of stuff, but they're great for just having handy to, you know, clean stuff with, wash down stuff, whatever. And there's some more, I'm turning it this way, papers. And in that same time that I got the buttons and some of the laces, I found some crocheted table runners, and I took them all apart very carefully, just snipped them with scissors, and I make little flowers and things out of these for the journals and what have you. Even on tea cozies, they make it pretty much anywhere you can put them. They're fun. But those were all table runners, and you get them for a song, and it's a shame that they aren't being used, so I thought, no, we'll use them. And there's more storage. And let's see, what else? These are my 2 new desks. I had a table in here that was the bottom was the stand from an old Singer sewing machine, and I loved it. My mother gave it to me, but it was so small. It was short, and it was killing my back. So I invested in these desks where they raise and lower, and so here I have one at one height and one at the other, but they are both movable, and it's just really nice. Suddenly I can stand upright and not kill myself. So that was a wonderful thing. And I still have the table, the Singer table. I won't get rid of it. It's lovely. It reminds me of both my grandmothers using one, and so that's in the house now. And more storage over here, holding some books that I'm deconstructing, and things I'm working on. These are some things I've been working on recently. We just went to an art retreat at let me think. Grand Oak Retreat in Scottsboro, Alabama. Wonderful place, wonderful, wonderful place. And it's just some things that I was inspired to make. And that's what that is. And again, more storage. These are projects in waiting. One of them is a Christmas journal. And one of them is part of that sewing journal. And there's even an old cookbook in there. I'm not sure if you can see it. There it is. Better Homes and Gardens. And that's going to be a cooking journal. I hate to cook. I really do. I mean, I love to bake, but I hate to cook. But I'm going to have fun in it because I love the graphics from way back when. So I keep hoping if I get a cookbook, maybe it'll teach me to like cooking, but it doesn't. I'd rather clean any days. And fortunately, in the family, there are a lot of wonderful cooks, and they like to cook, and I like to clean, so we just, we trade off. There's another tier, and another tier. And this piece I got a few years ago at Home Goods. It's great because it's open. Again, you can see things. And then we have this three-tiered table. I love these things. I have one in the house, and I have one out here. It's gorgeous. I think they're neat. Something about tiers, I don't know. And there you see this comes off here, and that's the bunches of some of the bunches of snippets that are more what do you call it? Darker colors, boho colors, things of that nature. Whoops, let me get my thing back in focus here. But that's what that is. So, I think that's it. Gracious. That is the conclusion, I do believe. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. That's a beautiful piece by Patricia Viramontes. She made me several pockets. I love her pockets out of old paper and old book pages and what have you, and she included that as a complimentary gift. It was so sweet and generous of her. That's what I'm discovering, that you know, at this retreat we went to, Grand Oak Retreat in Scottsboro. There were 17 or 16 of us, and we were in fairly close quarters, and it was just wonderful. There was no drama, there was no bickering, there was no ugly attitudes. There was generosity and just lovely, crafty ladies just working on their art. All diverse, complete diversity, but we were just able to have a great time together. I was very blessed to be a part of that. And let's see, I think, is that about it? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've missed. Again, this is a culmination of years and years, and it changes. About once a year I'll go through and change things out, especially if the course of what I'm working on has changed drastically. And so the recent change was about a year ago when I started working in the journals. And I've been very, very blessed. People have given me things, but God has made all this possible, and it's just amazing what He's done in my life and continues to do. I am definitely a work in progress, and He's been very generous with me. And to my husband, oh goodness, my husband is just everything to me. He's just wonderful. He spoils me rotten, and he's a fabulous artist, although you could never tell him that. He says, "Nah, that's silly." And I asked, he built rock walls around the house and in gardens and stuff, some of which you can see in the background there, but he will literally take rock, not that piece right there that you can see, but he'll take rock and literally carve it into walls. And I asked him, I said, how did you learn to do that? Did someone teach you? There's a rock, let me open it up here. There's the rock steps he did. He just carves it. I said, well, how do you know how to carve it? Well, the typical answer was, well, you just cut away everything that looks like it doesn't belong. I'm like, okay, never mind. Gotta love him. He is genius with building things, and he's very generous with doing things for me. So, thank you, Nigel. Love you. Almost 40 years now. Next year's our 40th anniversary. So, anyway, I hope you've haven't been too bored with this tour. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'd appreciate it if you put the like comments down. But if you have some concerns or questions or anything, just let me know. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, you can be notified whenever I come up with some other idea. I'm about to be away for several weeks, and so it will be very little going on, but as far as videos are concerned. But I'll be back in October probably with more fun stuff. It'll take me that long to get everything going again. So I hope you all have a lovely, lovely day, a blessed week, and take care. And I'll talk to you soon. And this is Fursdon House signing off. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.